We are approaching the halfway point in year number 2 of the Cleveland Browns franchise here on Madden 26. Today we will go through the trade deadline and our Week 9 matchup here at home against Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. If we win this game today, we could really put ourselves in a good spot going into the second half of the year as we currently sit with a record of 3-4. We had a really big game last week against the Steelers, and unfortunately, we lost 27-21. It was a real opportunity for us to show the NFL world that our rebuild is ahead of schedule and that we are truly a contender for the playoffs this year. On one hand, we played horribly in the first half. The defense could not stop a nosebleed. The offense got nothing going. But we gave Pittsburgh a real run for their money in the second half. We trailed 27-6 at the break. But the defense allowed 0 points in the second half. And the offense, they actually had a couple nice drives going in that fourth quarter. But unfortunately, it was too little too late as we ultimately took the loss against Pittsburgh. Both rookie quarterbacks were inconsistent. I do think Brendan Holloway overall had a pretty good game, but he also left a lot of meat on the bones. He missed a lot of throws, which makes me think if he ends up being a little bit more accurate, he could be scary in the future. Quinshon Judkins fumbled twice, losing one of them. DK Metcalf was uncoverable for pretty much the whole game. And then the defense, they've got to be better, and they were in the second half. But we need more consistency throughout the whole game. You cannot allow 27 points in the first half and expect to win. So now that poses the question of what we think we need to do here during the trade deadline. We're currently 3-4, and we're towards the middle of the standings. We're not necessarily in a position where we have to sell everything, and really there aren't many guys to sell to begin with. It wouldn't hurt to potentially make a move to make this roster better, but we also don't want to buy irresponsibly and obviously trade away a bunch of long-term draft assets, given that I think we're looking at a pretty talented draft class, and as of right now, our pick is right on the fringe of being in the top 10. We have an opportunity with a quarterback on a rookie contract who we believe is good to really build a winning team over the next few years, and while we hope the rebuild can be ahead of schedule, we also don't want to take things too fast per se and really mess up our opportunity that we have presented over the next 4 years, presumably with Kieran Riddle at the helm. We do have a number of guys who are free agents at the end of the year. We could sell high on someone like Baron Browning, who's had a good year. Grant Delpit was a Pro Bowler a season ago. He's been solid this year as well. Deshaun Watson's a free agent, thank God. And then a couple of the linemen are as well, one of them being Trent Brown, who we signed this past offseason from Houston. I don't think Trent Brown has been very good. The offensive line as a whole has been a lot worse than it was last year, which is odd because it's largely the same group, but we upgraded at left tackle with the veteran Trent Brown. Now, he is 33 years old, but he's still an 85 overall. He is still one of the better tackles in the NFL. But he really has not looked the part for us whatsoever this year. I think he's already allowed more sacks than he did in Season 1 of this series, and we are only 7 games through the year. Last season in Houston, he allowed 6 sacks. This year, he's allowed 7 sacks. Do I even need to say it? Nonetheless, though, I think it makes sense to trade him away because there are contending teams who could use help at offensive tackle. Look, he's 33 years old. He's not playing that well. We're not going to get that much back. But I look at the New York Giants. They have Andrew Wiley as their starting right tackle, and I think they could certainly upgrade here. So we're going to trade Trent Brown and our 7th round pick in 2028 for a 6th rounder this year and a 6th rounder next year. It's not a lot, but we're adding a pick on day 3 this year, and we're moving up around on day 3 of next year, while the Giants, who are 7-1, they're currently the number 1 seed in the NFC. Jackson Dart is the MVP of the league right now. They get him some help on the offensive line. We have a second trade that also involves the O-line. Wyatt Teller is going to the Colts for Tanner Bortolini and a 7th rounder in 2028. Teller, the former Virginia Tech guard, go Hokies, is 31 years old. He's on the last year of his contract, and he's a serviceable starter. But we did draft Jonah Ritter in the 3rd round, who's only 21 years old, and I'd love to see him get some more reps. We're trading Teller to a Colts team who's kind of in the middle of the AFC standings. They're definitely better than they were last year. Kyler Murray is hurt at the moment, though. Anthony Richardson is the starter. He's obviously had a hard time staying healthy. So rather than getting, say, a 5th round pick back, I'd rather get a player I like Tanner Bortolini a lot, a former 7th rounder out of Wisconsin, only 24 years old. He's versatile. He can play center, he can play guard, and I think that could be really helpful for us. So we're going to add Bortolini. We're also going to get a 7th rounder in 2028, making up for the pick that we just traded away moments ago. So you're probably a little confused that we're making the offensive line, which has been a weakness for us this year, even more of a weakness, at least in terms of ratings, trading away our 2 highest rated guys there. But I really don't think the offensive line is going to be that much worse. Trent Brown and Wyatt Teller haven't been great this year, especially Brown. We might just be better off with DeJuan Jones at left tackle, and we get to see what we have in Jonah Ritter, who we used the 3rd round pick on. We also have Ethan Posich, who I think plays a lot better than a 72 overall. Zach Zinner, who I think has been really solid in his first year as a starter. Tanner Bortolini, I think, will be starting some games for us in the near future. If anything, the weak link of that group is Jack Conklin, who's the highest rated and the most experienced of the bunch. We do have an open roster spot now, and I do want to add some depth on the line, so we're going to sign Trey Pipkins, who started a lot of games over the last few years with the Chargers. Has he played well in those games? Not particularly, but he's an experienced backup who can theoretically play for us in a pinch. Say DeJuan Jones struggles or DeJuan Jones gets hurt. He does have a long history of injuries, so we are prepared in case that happens. Let's take a look at some trades across the rest of the NFL. We'll start with Jayden Blue, who's developed really nicely in Dallas. But remember, they drafted Cornell Teamer in the 1st round out of Kansas this year. Teamer hasn't lit the world on fire, but he's been solid, and he is the clear starter in terms of the reps. So they're going to trade Blue to the Titans for a 3rd and a 5th. Pretty good value for a guy who they just drafted in the 5th round a couple years ago. The Titans have a hole at running back, and they're really going for it in the AFC South in a tight race with the Colts and the Jags. Leonard Williams is off to Kansas City for a 5 and a 6, adding another big-time piece in the middle of that defensive line to pair with Chris Jones. Chase Brown is going to the Bucs along with a 6 and a 7 for a 5 and a 7. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but Chase Brown is averaging less than 3 yards a carry this year. He has been brutally bad. The Bengals are one of the best teams in the AFC, but he's holding them back. Now they get to make 3rd-round rookie Dylan Bellamy the full-time starter, and the Bucs get a good number 2 behind Bucky Irving. The Texans are 1 and 6. C.J. Stroud just got hurt last week. They want to tear things down. Danielle Hunter is going to go to the Patriots for a 3rd and a 4th. New England is on the outside looking in, but they want to go for it. They're only a game behind Buffalo. They're only a game behind that last wild card spot. They had a big-time piece off the edge. The Jets are going to make a couple of moves as well. Breece Hall is on the way to Washington for a 4th and a 7th. We really shut down Breece Hall 2 weeks ago when we beat the Jets. Now we're going to get to play him again today as he heads to the Commanders to join forces with Jayden Daniels and company. Brian Robinson currently injured. Even when Robinson comes back, Breece will be the starter. The other big move for the Jets is Quinnen Williams going to the Cardinals for a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd. It's a lot for Quinnen Williams, who just got a 1st and a 2nd in real life from Dallas. And at face value, you'd think he'd probably have a little less value here in the game because we're a year into the future, which means he's a year older, and he has an extra year gone on his contract. However, that does not account for the fact that Quinnen Williams is having one of the all-time dominant seasons by anybody in the history of the NFL. He should be in the MVP conversation. Through 8 games, he has 58 tackles, which is a career high, and 10 sacks, which is the 2nd highest mark in his career. That stat line is an all-pro level season at the defensive tackle position, and he's done it in 8 games. He's on pace to finish with over 120 tackles and, 22-ish sacks. He had his worst game of the year against us. It's a miracle that we held him in check that entire game because not even Aaron Donald or J.J. Watt, who are the 2 greatest defensive players I've personally ever seen play the game of football, neither of those guys were ever this good, which is unbelievable to think about. In hindsight, I don't think I had the Cardinals give up enough. This is a home run deal for Arizona, 4-4, tied for 1st in the NFC West, going all in on their rookie quarterback, Wambley Mendoza. And then the other big trade, also on the defensive line. Nick Bosa's going to the Broncos for 2 1s and Jonathan Cooper. I would still say the Cardinals probably got a little more for Quinnen Williams because they got 3 really good picks, and the Niners got 2. The pick that the Niners are getting from Denver is also projected to be number 32 as of right now. Bosa has put up better numbers throughout his career than Quinnen Williams, but he also plays on the edge. It's easier to get sacks, and he certainly has not been as good as Big Q this year. For Denver, they're 7-0. It's easy to see why they're making this move. Bo Nix is in year 3. They're going to have to pay him soon, so they want to go all in on a title right now while the iron is hot. So an exciting trade deadline. Running backs and defensive line seem to be the two positions where there was a lot of shakeup across the league, and we're going to be looking at some fun storylines here in the second half of the year. The Bengals did not make any moves to get better, but I would say they improved by default, getting rid of Chase Brown. I wanted to have the Steelers do something, but there just wasn't the right trade. In the AFC South, the Titans get better. They add Jayden Blue, who they think could be the running back of the future. New England gets better with Danielle Hunter. And then in the AFC West, it's going to be a bloodbath. Denver's the front runner, but the Chargers are playing good ball. The Raiders are playing good ball, and you can't count out the Chiefs. In the NFC North, I wanted to have a move for the Vikings. I thought about giving them one of the running backs, but ultimately could not come up with a deal. The NFC East is ultra competitive with the Giants, the Eagles, and the Commanders. And then the NFC West is going to be really interesting. The Cardinals and the Seahawks are tied, but Seattle traded away Leonard Williams, and the Cardinals just got Quinnen Williams, who would get my vote for the MVP as of right now, along with the fact that you got Wambly Mendoza, who's playing some great ball. So Arizona is definitely going to be a team who I'm really excited to follow along with through the second half of the year. We've got the Commanders on the schedule here in Week 9. Washington is in third place in their division, but the NFC East is a total bloodbath. All 4 teams are pretty good. The Commanders were one of the most disappointing teams in the league last year, picking in the top 10. They look a lot better this year, but they are coming off a bad loss. Granted, it's against the Giants, who might be the best team in the league, but still, you don't want to lose by 20 against the division rival at their place. Of course, the Commanders are led by quarterback Jayden Daniels. Despite the team's struggles last year, Daniels made strides as a passer, and those strides have continued into year 3. He's just gotten better and better and better from what was already one of the all-time great rookie seasons at the position. You could easily make the argument that this is the best quarterback right now in the NFC. He's having a phenomenal year. What I don't get, though, is why has he only ran it 13 times? He's one of the 3 or 4 best rushing quarterbacks in the league. He needs to run it more. Luckily for him, he's going against the defense that struggles against scrambling quarterbacks. Breece Hall leads the way at running back. He will be the starter. Before him, they had my glorious knight in shining armor, my Pookie Bear Kane. Sean Tucker is the starter. As much as I would love for Sean to remain the guy, I felt like Breece Hall made a lot of sense here. They have a good skill position group. They will be without Antonio Penwell, who they drafted in the 6th round out of Tennessee, who's been quite good this year. Defensively, they've got a lot of talent as well. The rookie from Georgia, Stephon Battle, who they picked in the top 10, has been productive off the edge. The Commanders got themselves a solid team. Even though they're in 3rd place in their division, they would be in 1st in roughly half of the divisions in the NFL right now. Both Southern divisions and then the NFC West. All 3 of those divisions are not very good. Washington is better than any of the teams in those divisions, although maybe the Cardinals passed them now with Quinnen Williams, you could argue. Washington rocking their beautiful alternate road jerseys. Here's Daniels up the middle. He gets popped by Carson Schlesinger, but he does get the first. As I said with Daniels, he's an elite rushing quarterback. I imagine he will be aggressive with his legs today. The Browns are not good at containing just about anybody. This is the best scrambler we've seen this year other than Lamar Jackson. As Breece Hall gets into the 38-yard line. We really held Breece in check 2 weeks ago, but he's no longer playing for the Jets. It might be a little easier for him. Daniels steps up, scrambles for the first down, slides in front of Schlesinger. He didn't want to get hit again. But he does get it to the 22, and the Commanders are moving it effortlessly down the field here on drive number 1. Sean Tucker to the left of Breece Hall, to the left of Jayden Daniels, who goes up the middle for Terry McLaurin, the All-Pro, who gets it to the 11. McLaurin is now on the older side at the position, but still a highly productive receiver. On first down, Deebo Samuel is pushed from behind into the end zone for a touchdown. The Washington Commanders march down the field, and they lead at 7-0. We allowed 0 points defensively in the second half last week. I was really hoping we would keep up the momentum, but instead that looked like the defense from the first half as Judkins gets it to start the drive with a juke move, gets the first, says, "Get off me!" And he's got nobody in front of him. 74 yards on the opening play. Quinshon Judkins takes it to the crib, and we are quickly tied at 7. What a run by Judkins, who has not taken the leap we would have hoped for here in his second season. With health, with inconsistency and with fumbles, he's been worse than Dylan Sampson this year. But that is a huge play to really give himself some individual momentum, if you will, as Jayden Daniels scrambles for a third down conversion. He needed 9, and he gets 10. On third down from the 38, short throw for Breece Hall. Follows his blocks, does not get the first. Great tackle by Ronnie Hickman. The Commanders on their own side of the field are going to go for it. 4th and 1 at the 47, a bold decision by head coach Dan Quinn. Daniels under pressure, it's caught. They will likely get the first down to the 31. Isaiah Likely, signed from the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens, makes the play. Likely, of course, a longtime rival of the Browns, as it's 2nd and 5 at the 26. Play action. Daniels scrambles again. Look at all that space. He is abusing us with his legs so far. 5 carries, 50 yards through the opening 2 drives. We've got to have somebody spying on him. 3rd and 3. Pass is caught. Broken tackle into the end zone. It's De'Ami Brown for the touchdown, and the Commanders are back on top. Brown spent his first 4 years in Washington, played a year with the Jags, and then goes back to the Commanders, where he's now the wide receiver 3 with the injury to their late-round gem, Antonio Penwell. Short throws caught on first down by Harold Fannin, who's out of bounds at the 43. Just the second offensive play of the game for Cleveland, and the first pass of the day by quarterback Kieran Riddle. From the 46, under 30 to go in the quarter, Riddle short throws caught by Jontre Hickson, who splits the defense. Hickson down the field to the 22. I did not know he had that kind of wiggle. Not just the juke move, but his acceleration out of the juke move. Jontre Hickson's not fast. That's why he fell all the way to the 6th round. But he's got some impressive footwork, as we see on that play. 14-7 through 1, the Commanders with the lead. Defense, never heard of her. It's been all about the offense so far through the opening 10 minutes. We've gotten a lot of big plays so far. Judkins, Hickson, making guys miss. But on the flip side, our defense has looked abysmal. 3rd and 5 at the 16. Riddle looks to throw it. Riddle surveys the field, rolls to the right, on the run. He's got Judy, who's just shy of the end zone. He gets it to the 1. Jerry Judy with a big 3rd down conversion. Good coverage there by Trey Amos, but just not good enough. 1st and goal now. Judkins in at running back. 13 personnel for the Browns as Judkins stiff arms the defender. He's in. 2nd touchdown of the first half. I hope you started him, fantasy owners. A very, very impressive opening to the game for Quinshon Judkins, who gets some bonus points with the celebration. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for both teams. We're tied at 14. 3rd and 10 at the 24. Daniels looks to throw it, has all day, looks to scramble. We've got guys keeping an eye on him as he looks for Likely, and it's broken away. Dominic Proctor got a hand on it. We've seen a lot of growing pains so far from Proctor, the 4th rounder from Arizona, as the Browns actually force a punt. Would you look at that? Back on offense, 3rd and 6. Riddle up the middle. It's Dorian Sahara with a spin move. Gets the first of the 42. Welcome back, the 1st rounder from James Madison. We've certainly missed him over the last few weeks as he makes his first catch of the game. 2nd and 8 at the 41. Riddle will look short on the screen. Dylan Sampson gets eviscerated in the backfield. Devin Bush, who was on our team last year, delivers the boom. DeJuan Jones is hurt on the play. That's not ideal. He missed the start of the year with an injury. He missed the end of last year with an injury. Maybe trusting him to be the starting left tackle was not the best idea, even though he's played well whenever he's been out there. 3rd and 10, Riddle on the run. Risky throw, nearly intercepted. Mikey Sainris still had that one in his hands. He's got to come down with it. The Browns would punt it, and a good one at that, down at the 3 from Bojorquez. Breece Hall immediately gets Washington out of safety territory, however, as he gains 17 yards on the play, and the Commanders now have a lot more breathing room. 3rd down and 10 for Washington. Daniels looks to throw it on the run. Incomplete. He had a receiver open down the field. He's unable to make the play. He should have kept scrambling. I don't know if he would have gotten the first down, but he would have been close. That'll force another punt. Back-to-back 3 and outs. Defense looks a lot better here in the 2nd quarter. Sampson on 3rd and 4 loses 2. Likewise, though, the Commanders have looked a lot better on defense. Jack Gibbons brings him down, and we'll have to punt it again. From the 20, Breece Hall pushed to the turf by Carson Schlesinger. The 2nd-year linebacker from UCLA continuing his fantastic campaign as it is a 2nd and 11 at the 19. Daniels keeps it. Daniels on the read option, gets the first. And he is down at the 34 for a gain of 15. It's largely been scrambles off of design passes. This time it's an option run. But Jayden Daniels, his legs continue to be his number one asset today. From the 34, Daniels looks to throw it under pressure from Garrett. It's caught by Breece Hall. Breaks the tackle from Owusu Koromoa, and he gets it to the 47. I like seeing the pressure by Garrett, but we need more. We've barely touched him in the backfield. That's the biggest reason why he's been able to scramble, because he's not under pressure. 3rd and 3, Hall, another first down. He runs out of bounds at the 36. Very productive half through the air so far from Breece Hall, showing off his abilities as a pass catcher. 2nd and 7 now at the 33-yard line with 1:20 to go in the first half. Play action. Daniels, that one is caught. Deebo Samuel past the 15, past the 10, where Carson Schlesinger finally finishes him off. A touchdown-saving tackle would have been Deebo's second of the game. 1st and goal now. Washington is taking their time, and understandably so. They are in no reason to rush, given that they have it at the goal line. Okay, maybe they've got to snap it at some point, and they don't get it off in time. Too much pre-snap motion. They got a little bit confused. Clearly some miscommunication. That'll push them back 5 yards. That's a big deal. We will gladly accept that penalty. 1st and goal at the 13 is a lot different than 1st and goal at the 8. Daniels looks to throw it up the middle. He'll make up the yardage as it will get them to the 7. It's De'Ami Brown. Washington uses a timeout. Certainly a change of pace compared to what they were thinking by running the clock out moments ago. Daniels to Likely. He's just short. And the Commanders use their second timeout. They've got it at the 1. 3rd and goal with 27 seconds. Breece Hall cuts to the outside. He's in. The Commanders add to the lead. A late touchdown drive by Jayden Daniels and company. Breece Hall, his first touchdown with the Washington Commanders. He looks well worth that 4th and 7th rounder right now. Riddle on first down gets popped. Stephon Battle, the 9th pick out of the University of Georgia. That was a personal hit. He wants revenge for Riddle beating his Bulldogs in the semifinals last year. RPO, Dorian Sahara out of bounds. He gets 16. That play will be considered a run for the rookie as we now look at a 3rd and 2 with 12 seconds. Riddle's going to throw it up for Hickson, who cannot haul it in. That was a really hard play to make. Tried to go up there, get physical at the catch point, and it does not quite work. 21-14, the Commanders with the lead at the break over the Browns. It has been an exciting, high-scoring game. Both defenses definitely coming along as this one is continued, but it's been certainly a high-scoring, high-octane start, and I guess we're not getting any highlights. I don't know why that is. Madden's done that a few times in this series where they just don't show us any of the other games. I don't know why. But we will still get some stats for this one. A lot of offense so far. Jayden Daniels, 15 of 23, 141 yards through the air, 69. Nice on the ground. Riddle, 8 of 11, 79 yards. Judkins with 85 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. We will start with the ball here to open up the 3rd. We haven't really been able to throw the ball a lot. We haven't had the ball a lot. We're certainly looking to get Riddle going early as he's got Jontre Hickson. Hickson's out of bounds at the 44-yard line, a gain of 13. Hickson led the team in yards in the first half, 2 catches for 30. That's his 3rd catch of the game from the 44. Riddle scrambles to the right side. Hoping someone gets open, and he'll go short. It's Jerry Jeudy, who is wrapped up at the 42-yard line. So far, so good here to open up the 3rd quarter for Kieran Riddle, making some really nice plays out of structure. 3rd and 7 at the 39. We're in that field goal, 4-down territory, fringe range as it's overthrown. Great route by Hickson, who's continued to have an amazing game. But Riddle put a little too much mustard on that one, and we decided to punt it away rather than go for it or kick the 56-yarder. Boink! It's caught by Hall. Might have been the worst thing he could have done. He loses 4 as a result. Josh Paschal brings him down. 3rd and 6, Daniels to throw it. Daniels scrambles, gets by Schlesinger, and he will get the first, still up. He gains 14. I need someone to explain to me, like I'm 5, why they haven't been using Jayden Daniels as a runner this year. Have they been saving it for this game specifically? Here's Breece Hall to the outside, smothered in the backfield. Greg Newsome and Martin Emerson bring him down for another loss of 4. 3rd down and 14 now for the Commanders. Daniels looks to throw it. Under pressure from Garrett. Wide open is Deebo Samuel, who gets it past the 40. He's still up to the 33. Unacceptable display of tackling. We've got to bring him down way earlier than that, and we've got to bring Daniels down in the backfield. No sacks yet for Cleveland. Breece Hall up the middle, loses a yard. The run defense is really starting to look good, though, as Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is there with the tackle. 3rd and 7. Washington has been money on 3rd down throughout this game. Daniels has made some big plays. Will we get another? Daniels looking deep for the end zone. Broken away by Martin Emerson. He was looking for De'Ami Brown, and that will bring out the field goal team. It is a 46-yard try here for the Commanders. It's the longtime Seahawk, Jason Myers, from the left hash. His kick is blocked! Multiple players in the backfield. It's Noah Sewell who got a hand on it. We had like 3 guys bust through the middle of the line, but it is Noah Sewell who makes the play. It remains a 7-point game. Big play by the Cleveland special teams, and we'll get it with excellent field position. 3rd and 2 at the 49-yard line. Handoff for Kendre Miller, his first carry of the game. He does not get it, but he is close. 4th and inches at the 48. We're going to go for it. Washington has nobody over the center. Why? That might be the easiest QB sneak I've ever seen. Like, what? What were they thinking? 2nd and 5 now, 30 seconds to go in the 3rd. No score change here in the 3rd quarter as it's a jet sweep. Sahara loses 3. Washington with a nice play at Sam Williams, the former Dallas Cowboys 2nd-round pick out of Ole Miss. 3 seconds left in the 3rd. Browns do get it off before the end of the quarter. Riddle on 3rd down under pressure. He's got Thrash, who is just shy of the yard to gain. Mikey Sainristil and friends bring him down, and Cleveland's got an interesting 4th down dilemma to open up the 4th. We have not scored anything since early in the 2nd quarter. The offense has been dry for 2 frames. We finally have it around the red zone, right at the 20 pretty much. But we've got a big decision to make here on 4th and inches. We've already converted 1 4th and inches earlier on this drive. So because of that, it's a pretty easy decision. We are certainly not going to send the field goal team out. Rather, we are going to go for it. 4th and inches at the 21-yard line to start the 4th. Riddle calls a switch here at the line. Kendre Miller is the running back in the backfield. Harold Fannin lined as a fullback as it's play action. Riddle to the left has plenty of space. Too easy. He gained 6 on the scramble. Not only does he get the 1st down, but he gets a little bit more as well. 3rd and inches at the 6. Judkins in at running back. Riddle hands it off. Judkins 1st down. He is not quite in, but a good gain. He gets 4. And again, we keep the chains moving now at the 2. 2nd and goal. Under 8.5 to go. Looking to tie it. Riddle in the pistol. Judkins loses 2. Washington makes the play. Tank Renford, the rookie out of Tennessee, brings him down. Led the Bulls in sacks last year. RPO, Fannin, he's got it! Browns tie it at 21. Our first point since early in the 2nd quarter. Harold Fannin, who leads the team in receiving touchdowns this year after not scoring a single one as a rookie. I think he just has so much more chemistry with Riddle than the guys we had last year. 3rd and 10. Daniels wants it all down the field into the bucket. Terry McLaurin, 72 yards for a touchdown. Who needs a Lambo? Who needs a Ferrari? When you've got old reliable, your nice shiny McLaren who can roll on into the end zone. What a throw by Daniels with the interior of the line collapsing. It looked like he was off balance a little bit making that throw, but he delivers a perfect pass. The Commanders are right back up by 7. Judkins drops a wide open ball on 3rd and 10. That's a gain of at least 20 if he hauls it in. What are you doing, man? 3rd and inches. Daniels fumbles the sneak. Washington gets it. Breece Hall jumps on it. And they will get the 1st down after all. Wow. They just dodged a bullet. 2nd and 3. Daniels looks to run with it. Gets another 1st. We've done a much better job of containing the scramble in the 2nd half, but it hasn't stopped Daniels from making big plays, especially with his arm. From the 43, under 5 minutes to go, both Tucker and Hall in the backfield, joined by Jayden Daniels, as it's Hall to the outside, and he loses a lot. Breece Hall's had a good game, but there have been a couple plays, not really his fault, where he's lost like 4 or 5, this time 6 yards. 3rd and 9, it's caught, but not for a 1st. A potential game-saving tackle by Denzel Perryman, bringing down Deebo Samuel. And with 3 minutes and 9 seconds, we're going to start this drive at the 7, needing a 93-yard drive. And we're going to need to go the full length of the field. Field goal's not enough. We need 7. Perhaps the biggest drive in the NFL career of Kieran Riddle. He'll go short for Sahara. Gets the first, a gain of 11 for the rookie. When I saw the injury timeout, I was worried it was him, given that he hasn't been able to stay on the field this year. But he has throughout this game. We've had no issues with Dorian Sahara's conditioning, which has been a problem for him. 2nd and 8 at the 20, up the middle. It's Jerry Jeudy, and he does get the first down. Another injury timeout. Judy's a little bit shaken up. I don't think it's much to worry about, though, but he'll probably sit for a couple of plays. From the 28-yard line on first down, it's Judkins. Up the middle, he gets around 5, wrapped up by Mikey Sainra still. He's had a busy second half. Browns get it off at 2:01. Riddle up the middle. He's got Jabari Thrash for the first down. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning here in Cleveland. A 28-21 lead for the Commanders. Let's see what Kieran Riddle, this young rookie from Alabama, has got in store for us. Riddle on the run on first down. He will throw it up. It's caught. Good job there by Thrash to high point the football and go out of bounds to stop the clock. We were prepared to throw it away there. Instead, we get 6. Sampson up the middle. Lasso down, but he gets around 10 to the 42-yard line. It's been a very efficient drive here for Cleveland. We haven't gotten the big chunk play yet, but we've been really solid moving the ball down the field. As Jeudy gets only 2 on the RPO. The Commanders saw that one coming. 2nd down and 8 now. Riddle, play action, looks to throw it, looking down the field. Sahara wide open. Sahara jukes both of the defenders, and he walks it in. His first NFL touchdown, and we're tied at 28. Welcome to the league, Dorian Sahara. He kicks down the door, and we are knotted up. A 93-yard drive by Kieran Riddle, and an unbelievable maneuver after the catch by Dorian Sahara. This is exactly why we drafted him. He has been so good so far after the catch, which is exactly what we expected. This is what he's been doing for years at James Madison. He can make guys miss. He can run you over. It doesn't matter. When he has the ball, he's the most dangerous player on the field. Here's a big run, though, by Breece Hall. He gets it past the 50. What a start for the Commanders. They're not that far away from field goal range with Jason Myers, the veteran. They also have 2 timeouts. Daniels misfires. He had an open receiver, De'Ami Brown. The target yard line is the 40. I think the Commanders are comfortable if they get it to at least the 35. That's only 14 yards in 50 seconds. They could easily do that in one play. Daniels under pressure from Garrett. It's caught by Hall. Hall is able to get out of bounds, but he only gets a yard. It's Greg Newsome who brings him down, and that'll make it a 3rd down and 9 at the 48-yard line. McLaurin in motion, lines up in the slot on the left side. Biggest play of the game for us defensively. Breece Hall in motion. He'll line up in the slot on the right side as Daniels misfires. Deebo Samuel was open, but it's incomplete. After trying to get a couple big plays in a Hail Mary, the Browns would not score to end the 4th, which means for the first time, I believe, in the entire series, we are headed to overtime. 28-28. It's crazy we haven't had an overtime game yet in this series and the Virginia Tech dynasty, and now we're getting a bunch. Virginia Tech's already at 2 this year. They beat Maryland on the road, and then just yesterday in the episode against Clemson, that game went into double overtime. Washington will get to choose the toss. All 3 of these overtime games we've been at home. So we haven't been able to choose either heads or tails, but you guys should know the drill. Tails never fail. Oh, it lands on heads. Wow, they actually got it right. So Washington is going to start with the ball. I feel like more teams nowadays with the new overtime rules choose to defend. But the strategy for Washington is that if the game is tied after 2 possessions and there's still time, then it is sudden death. 3rd and 1, read option. Daniels does not get it. Quentin Lake brings him down, a 3 and out. Forced by the Cleveland defense, and now all we would need is a field goal to win the game. We just had a 93-yard touchdown drive to tie it. We're going to need less to win. Judkins up the middle, gets 4 to start. We're also not really working against the clock yet. We still have 4.5 minutes. Riddle on the run. He's got plenty of rushing room. Gets the first, chase from behind, and he slides at the 36-yard line. The numbers aren't necessarily going to pop off the page, but I think Kieran Riddle has played a really good game. Riddle up the middle. Sampson cannot hold on. Had 2 guys in the area. and he's unable to make the catch. Would have gotten around 10. 2nd and 10 at the 36. Riddle floats it up. It's caught. Tez Johnson. His first catch of the game is a big one as he gets the first down to the 46-yard line for a gain of around 10. Harold Fannin in motion. He's had a nice afternoon. He will line up in the backfield going from the right all the way to the left. Play action. Big block by Judkins. Hickson with the catch. He gets 5. Shout out Quinshon Judkins with the chip block there to avoid the sack. No block, no rock. Instead of a loss of, 6, 7, we get 5 yards. That's a 12-yard swing. Sampson, stiff arm, first down to the 40. We're moving it really well on this drive. I don't think we're in field goal range yet for the rookie Paul Kosharski, but we are close. From the 40, Riddle thrown into the ground. It's incomplete. Tries to get it to Judy on the RPO. 2nd and 10. Judkins tries to juke away from multiple defenders. He gets 4. As the commanders of the players shaken up on the field, it's now a 3rd and 6 with 2.5 to go. Riddle looks to throw it. He's got Fannin. First down. Fannin with a gain of 20. And if we weren't already, the Browns are certainly in field goal range now. We're not going to kick just yet, but we are getting close, and we certainly cannot do anything stupid. No turnovers. That one's batted away at the line. Riddle looking for Sahara. If it's not there, do not force the issue. 2nd and 10. Sampson gets it, bounces up the field, trying to center the kick if possible, but we're close enough to where I don't think that would be an issue. It's a gain of 9, and that'll make it a 3rd down and 1 following the 2-minute warning. Riddle tries to step up, and he is sacked on the play. It's Deron Payne who brings him down. I'm impressed he didn't throw a punch like he did to Amon-Ra St. Brown earlier today in real life. That'll bring out the field goal team. 28-yarder. Paul Kosharski for the win as Dan Quinn calls the timeout. The biggest kick in the young career for the undrafted rookie out of Maryland, Kosharski. We're reasonably close. Certainly not his hardest kick, but with Dan Quinn icing him, you never know. 28 yards for the win. It is good! Kosharski delivers the kick, and the Browns come from behind to win it here in overtime over the Commanders. 31-28, and we improved to a record of 4-4, matching our win total from last year in only 8 games. Look, there's a lot to clean up. Defensively, I think we played a pretty sloppy game. On offense, we were non-existent from the 2nd quarter to the 4th, but we made a lot of plays when we needed to on both sides of the ball. Since the end of the 1st quarter, we only allowed 14 points. The offense, clutch drive to tie it at the end of regulation, clutch drive to win it in overtime. We had some big plays in this one. Of course, the run by Judkins, the touchdown by Dorian Sahara. That play was awesome. I think just having Sahara on the field really changed things for the passing game because it really gave us more opportunities in the short game. The Commanders were a lot more focused and attentive towards him. They know how dangerous he is with the ball. James Madison is not too far away from Washington, D.C. They've had a lot of chances to watch him in college. They know how dangerous he is. So with more focus on Sahara, we're able to get it to other guys. Jontre Hickson had another great game. He's turning into an awesome young player for us. You could argue he's been the best receiver on the team this year through 8 games, which is pretty incredible for a 6th-rounder. And then defensively, we need more splash plays. No sacks, no interceptions. We did force a fumble in the QB sneak, but we didn't recover it, so no turnovers. Can't expect to win the game when you make 0 big defensive plays. But we also only allowed 14 points in the final 3.5 quarters, including the half of overtime. Both quarterbacks, I thought, played quite well. Kieran Riddle, I know he had some misses, but I think he played a really good game. He kept the ball out of harm's way, delivered some big-time throws down the field, and he was clutch when it mattered. Daniels, 24-39, 280, 3 touchdowns. He also kept the ball out of harm's way. He also delivered some big-time throws, and he was great on the ground, 14 for 112. We definitely did a better job containing his legs in the second half, but still not good enough. They ran the ball really well. Judkins also at 14 for 112, including the 74-yarder earlier in the game. Through the air, Brown, Likely, and Hall all busy in the short game, while Debo and McLaurin had a lot vertically. Hickson, 5 for 60. He played a great game. Sahara, 5 for 69 and a touchdown. Fannin, 5 for 49 and a touchdown. It's the young guys who are making these plays at receiver. Sahara in particular, again, I thought he was one of the best players on the field Offensive line played a great game. With Trent Brown and Wyatt Teller gone, the O-line had one of their best outings of the year. We got to send more pressure, though. Myles Garrett did have some hits in the backfield, but he's got to come down with sacks. And then nobody else on the defensive line showed up. Mason Graham, again, what are we doing? Mike Hall gave us nothing. Browning, Pascal, they didn't give us anything. We were not successful on blitzes. The secondary could have been better. They allowed a couple big plays, and they didn't come down with any turnovers. But at the same time, they did a pretty solid job of covering when there was no pass rush. DeJuan Jones, broken ribs, out for the next 6 weeks. We are getting David Njoku back, but it's not ideal losing our starting left tackle. DeJuan Jones is a good player, but man, he is made of glass. Jamari Sawyer played in place of him today. I imagine he would be the starter, but we do have Trey Pipkins available. A couple of former Chargers there. As we take a look at our weekly recap, Commanders and the Browns ended up being one of the best games of the week, but Cleveland gets the win in overtime. Look at this impressive run. The first offensive play of the game for Cleveland, a 72-yarder for Quinshon Judkins, who had his best statistical game of the season. More of that, please. Number one. Let's head to Vegas. One of the biggest surprises in the NFL this year has been the Las Vegas Raiders. This is an opportunity for them to show they are for real against the Jaguars team, who's also in the middle of the standings. Well, I think it's fair to say the Raiders are for real. 38-6. Geno Smith has aged like a fine wine, unlike real life, and the Raiders look like one of the best teams in the AFC. They are really good. Dolphins and Vikings. Minnesota 6-2 this year. They lead the NFC North. Another big surprise, J.J. McCarthy bringing his winning ways from IMG Academy and Michigan. What a play after the catch here by Ty Felton in a low-scoring game. The touchdown by the former Terp leads the Vikings 19-13. Kevin O'Connell's got these guys at 7-2. Comfortably in first place of the North over the Packers, who were the best team in the NFC last year, and the Lions, who were the hottest team in the second half of the year. Steelers lose. That's a big deal. The Bengals add to their division lead. The Texans actually won, believe it or not, so the Jets are now back firmly at the bottom of the standings. The Broncos lose their first game of the year with Nick Bosa. The Cardinals also lose. Granted, they did just play against the Giants. The Rams only scored 3. They are 2-6, 2-7. They're really bad. The Isaiah Tim era has not gotten off to a great start. Jackson Dart, Geno Smith, Kazir White, and Kyle Duggar, the players of the week. Jackson Dart just continues to impress me each and every week. He is in first place right now for the MVP, and the Giants are probably the best team in football. It's unbelievable to say, but it's true. So going into Week 10, I mentioned it at the beginning of the episode, but if we beat Washington, we actually have a pretty favorable schedule, at least for the next few weeks, and a chance to really improve our record. The Texans did just win this week, but they're 2-6. They have one of the worst offenses in the league, and CJ Stroud is hurt. He won't play. The Saints have overperformed, but they're still the Saints. They're not great. Let's say we win both of those games. A lot easier said than done. On the road, we don't want to look past them, but we could easily be 6-4 going into the Denver game. Now, these two games are not gimmies, though. We're away from home. The Texans did just win last week with the rookie from Oklahoma State, Jonathan Diaz. If we look past these teams and look towards Denver, we're not going to beat them. We've got to continue to take it 1 week at a time. Over the next 2 episodes, we're going to have a prospect profile, and we're going to go through the next 3 weeks, making it past the Denver game. Now, I don't know what the prospect profile will be in the next episode or the following one. I'm still deciding exactly what the order will be, but nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the trade deadline down below in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Peace out.